Listen to Proverbs 24:11. Rescue the perishing. Don't hesitate to step in and help. Proverbs 31 verse 8 says, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute." Well, there's a segment of almost every society that is suffering, very often in silence. They may have food on the table, but they're being terrorized in their marriage relationship. My guest has been a victim of domestic violence. She's now a passionate voice for the voiceless. Black and Blue Sari is an ominous title, but there are new colors in Kamal Dhillon's story. It's a joy to welcome her from Surrey, BC. I just want to reach out and give you a great big hug.
And we will.
And we will. Kamal, you moved into what you thought was going to be a fairy tale wedding and marriage. We have a picture of your wedding day. Typically, I think it's a week-long ceremony.
Minimum.
Minimum. But here you are. What year is this?
This is going into the 1980.
1980. When did this marriage turn into a nightmare?
Immediately.
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 You were just 17 when
18.
your parents, but when your parents arranged
My
marriage.
parents actually started arranging when I was 16. And so this proposal had come in, and within weeks, so I was 18, so within weeks, I was engaged and married.
Did you know this man very well?
Not at all.
How
I
many
knew of
times
him.
you knew of him?
Yeah.
How many times had you seen him or been with him?
I hadn't been with him at all. I had sat beside him at the engagement, at my engagement, which was probably 10, 15 minutes. And that was all. And I would see him in a distance after that.
This isn't unusual in arranged marriages. And often arranged marriages are good things.
They are. My parents, their wedding, marriage was arranged. And my father lived to be 99 and had the most wonderful, even in his dying days, he held my mom's hand.
So you had that beautiful model and expectation
Yes.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Things were violent very quickly.
Yeah.
Could you go to anyone as a young bride? What was your response?
I tried. I tried because I wasn't used to being hit. I wasn't used to being yelled at. And so the first time, within weeks into the marriage, he had broken my nose. And I did call my mom, and my mom and dad came. And then after that, it was his threats. If you leave, I will do this and this. And I knew he was serious. I didn't leave my marriage because I feared not just for my life, my parents, my brothers and sisters.
And ultimately, there would be children.
Yes.
And protecting them. I think this is the most disturbing thing I've read in your book and in preparing for this theme is the tragic reality that for many women, it's safer to stay in the abusive relationship.
That's right.
In fact, the statistics show that most women are killed when they leave the
That's
marriage.
Yeah, they
That's
are killed
terrible.
fleeing. They are killed while they're, separated. And I knew that if I had left him, he would kill me. He would kill my mom and dad. And I could not live with that. I mean, if he didn't kill me, he would kill them. There was that other option.
The book is so graphic. Torture is not an exaggeration. I'm not sure how much of that we should be unpacking in our time, but we do have a couple of pictures. Tell us what happened as we look at these.
My husband had a tendency of beating me up, hitting me on my face. And he did that because he said that you won't go out and you won't expose me. And so with his repeated kicks to my face, punches, he had broken my jaw. And I have had over 9 jaw surgeries, and right now I have an artificial jaw. And the surgeries will continue. In fact, I do not feel my face, but I live with excruciating pain day and night.
You did involve the police. I want you to tell that chapter. And here again, the tragedy, the catch-22, is that that became a catalyst for more abuse.
That's right. He was beating me up in a parking lot. We had gone to Safeway, and I had bought something that was a little bit pricier than usual. And just by the look on his face, I knew I was in trouble. So by the time we got into the car, he had my hair in his fingers and throwing me like a doll from one side to the other and slapping me. I was bleeding, I was scared. I had children, 2 of them in the back seat, and someone passing by called the cops. And when the police did come, he asked me not to tell them anything. And this was the first time in about 3 years that somebody actually came to me.
To help?
To help.
To offer help?
And believed me. And when I saw him come to me, I said to him, please help me. And he said, what is he saying? I said, he's saying he's going to kill me if I told you. So immediately he was arrested for
a threat.
For threat, yeah, and assault. But that became something that he held on to until the very end. You had me arrested. You had me in prison, so that I will make you live in your prison.
And following this, he was very apologetic. Your parents and his parents said, take him back.
Yes, that was just for the moment. One of the things that I talk about during my talks and workshops that I do all over is that abusive men don't stand out. They show good qualities to others. So when he came to my mom and dad, he came with respect. He came with his hands joined together. But in the conversation, he kept blaming me. If your daughter just only grew up, if your daughter did not talk back, if your daughter doesn't overreact, you know how much I love her and care for her. And so my parents said, maybe Kamal, give him an opportunity. Maybe don't overreact. And I could not tell my mom and dad, you have no idea what he does to me. He strips me, he ties me, he burns me, he beats me up, he rapes me. He might even kill me, Mom. But I could not tell them.
This continues in chapters that sound like a movie I've seen. You would go to India, and that was an expectation because of the family businesses that you would travel to India, which initially was a bright prospect.
That's right.
You were born in India,
Yeah.
Kamal. But this would become a tender trap where you actually would be separated from your children.
That's right. Now, for the sake of the book, there are some places and dates and names that have been changed to protect the innocent. But yeah, I expect to travel, and I expected to be treated well because, you know, when you go back home, there's just this expectation. You'll be a queen, you know, you'll be pampered.
This is a wealthy, influential family that you've married into.
And chauffeur-driven and maids and all. But when I went there, it was a totally different scene. My documents were taken away, they were burnt. One of the things that was laid out to me was, how dare you put my son in jail? Do you not know we dominate this area, this country, and you've come and done this? Are you willing to live like a slave in this place?
To live like a slave?
Yeah. They gave me 2 choices, either leave, but without the children, or stay and stay as a slave. And I chose to stay with the children.
What were the circumstances that led you to come back to Canada?
There are almost 4.5 years that I was there. I suffered, as you see on the cover of the book. It's a very similar place where he would take me and try and drown me. It happened on numerous occasions. And the last time that it happened, it was late at night. By then I had 4 children. The children were in the back seat. And when I got out of the car, it's a long story, you have to read the book. When I got out of the car, my children closed their eyes because they knew.
They saw.
They had seen this.
So
They had
much
been
of this.
this, you know, journey before. And I thought, they'll probably see a little bit of me, so I just waved goodbye.